This is the scene in Sydney now as Fenech defends that title against Richardson. Our commentators are Jim Watt and Reg Gutteridge.
So there you are then, the Australian, very much the Aussie hero these days. A very attractive fighter, Jeff Fenech, and got a great deal of advantage here, I tell you that, because Greg Richardson's only 8 3 3/4. That's not even the bantamweight and only just above flyweight, and the super bantam is 8'10", and that's exactly the weight that the Australian came in. He's a sharp little operator, Lee Richardson. I saw him as an amateur, as you can see at the start here, and he knows he's got to make a bit of a flying start, because when it comes to wearing down tactics, Fenech is a genuine world champion, the first Australian to win 2 championships from different recognised bodies. As the IBF champion, gave it up as bantamweight at 8'6" to go up to this weight, and then defeated the Thailander Payakaru. Referee from the Philippines, and the judges, if it goes 12 rounds, come from America, Australia and Japan. And the World Boxing Council supervisors come a long way to oblige. It's Ray Clark from London. So it's a good start now, and the crowd can see that the American is going to be on his toes and trying to make it hard for Fenech to catch him. He's a good back peddler, Jim, isn't he?
Yeah, well, when he comes with a nickname of the Flea, I think Fenech knows exactly the tactics he's going to be using. It'll probably take him a few rounds to pin him down and catch him with any clean punches.
Maybe his natural weight, Jim, but it's a lot to give away in a world championship at this level, isn't it? It's like giving away a couple of stone at a heavyweight limit. Yeah,
but especially to a fighter like Fenech, who deals on power and aggression. To give away half a stone to a man like that, well, it's almost impossible.
Richardson knows he can get on his bike a bit. He's had 5 12-rounders. But I wouldn't have thought that Fenech has any bother staying. And he enjoys these little wars of attrition now. He chases everything in sight. Look at this. 1 or 2 odd boos, as you would expect from the local crowd then. As if to say, Richardson, stand there and take it, but I don't blame him for just moving around like this. It's the only chance he's got is to steal it. Really is a survival job, Jim, as we come up to the end of the first round. Richardson's made up his mind, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, I think, obviously, looking at his record, this is what he does best, and it's all probably he can do. So he just has to look to outsmart Fenech, but already Fenech's getting a little bit close to him.
And the referee collecting the judges' cards then after each round. And that's Fenech's parents. Into round 2 then. And the world champion knows that he's really now got to chase this fellow for all he's worth. He really has. And there's dear old Joe Bugney. You might catch him in the middle of the picture there, Jim. There you are, stealing our job again.
Yeah, well, Joe, as we know, always talks a good fight. He's probably doing that right now.
He's in the same stable here, under the same trainer anyway as Jeff Fenech. Johnny Lewis. I must say, I'm very impressed by Jeff Fenech. And when he defeated that Thailander, who admittedly had to drag a bit to do the weight, he really looked the part doing that. And he was captain of the Australian team that fought in Los Angeles. And he went out on a very, very suspicious decision, is all I can say. It was a reversed one. When the adjudicating panel reversed it around, he lost to a Yugoslav. Same Yugoslav who knocked out Scotland's Pat Clinton. So he's just edging that bit closer now, the champion. He knows he's got to try and nail Richardson. He won't give him much ring to get around if he can. There it is, trying to cut him off. Going to take some holding, Fenech, Jim, isn't he? I mean, you could fancy him now with featherweights if he's weighing 8 stone 10 and go up to 9 stone.
Yeah, he is very powerful, and he uses his strength and aggression to good effect. Richardson's managing to survive all right. He's not allowing Fenech to catch him cleanly. But having said that, he's not keeping his own composure. He's not doing it in a classy fashion. He's under pressure all the time, constant pressure. It's looking just how long he can last before the big punches start to land.
Fenech just doesn't give the opposition any rest at all, just climbs straight on top of them, always getting into punching range. Beautifully built bantamweight, or super bantamweight as it's now known, between bantam and feather. Only lost one decision, Richardson, by the way. Somebody called Francis Childs, and in the most unusual place, Conoshocken in Pennsylvania. But that was back in '82, and he reversed that decision, so he's been a well-managed fighter. And he's the United States Boxing Association champion. Defeated Robert Shannon. And as I remember, Shannon was the only US boxer to lose in the preliminary stages in the Olympics. It really is a Houdini job with Richardson. He's pulling his head away from every punch that he can see coming, and I can't blame him. He's a lively enough contender. This is not out of his natural style, Jim. Bit of replay here, Jim.
Yeah, well, Fenech has no problem in getting into punching range, but the flea is still a little bit too quick for him, pulling his chin out of harm's way. But he's getting closer.
Into the third. And as Jim Watt says now, the world champion from Australia really is just getting that closer to Richardson. He's going to catch up with him, there's no question about that. He's a very willing challenger, I have to say. Willing in the sense that he's taken a shot early on, he hasn't complained, but he really has backpedaled too much to have any real hope of winning, surely. Very difficult fellow to fight, though, Jim. You've got to be a good puncher to stop him in his tracks.
Yeah, he is very quick, good reflexes. We can see this is the only thing he does. He only has the one style, but giving weight away to Fenech and not having enough natural power himself. I mean, he hasn't been knocking anybody out, really. And to face Fenech and hope to steal a points win, especially away from home, he's really given himself a task.
He got clipped with a good right hander there from Fenech. That'll stop his gallop just a bit, I suspect. He's had 21 wins on the turn now, Richardson. And of course, Fenech's unbeaten in 16, and he stopped 13 of those. And it's the fourth American import now they've given to Fenech, and he's really turned them all over in style, including Steve McCrory, Milton's brother. Oh, the referee nearly got a little punch up the Derby Kelly there. So midway through the third, and the crowd sense it now that Fenech has really caught up with this American challenger who's floundering already. Grabbing, and you can't blame him for that, and the referee may have to wrestle them apart. There it is, he's yanking him off there, Jim. The crowd are getting a bit restless. They're loving what Fenech's doing, but they're a bit angry that Richardson's not standing up and letting him hit him.
Okay, every time Fenech lands anything like a punch, panic sets and Richardson grabbing hold of him and just trying to survive. It's pretty obvious already he doesn't have the power to keep Fenech away, and I really don't know how long he's going to survive.
No, he's just holding a bit too much now. The referee, I think, has got to be a bit sterner than this. He's done 30 world championships, although I must say it's the first time I've seen him. Richardson doesn't know which way to go, Jim. He's changing direction. There he goes again, you see. This hit and hop it stuff's fine, but not against punchers. Well, he got thrown as well there, so, and he's going to get warned for that, Fenech. Fair enough. Johnny Lewis and Fenech here, unmarked and totally disciplined looking character too. Had quite a few personal and family problems, really serious ones lately, but it certainly hasn't affected this performance. There's a bit of replay now, Jim.
Yeah, well, the punch is coming back Fenech's way, no problem, and every time he lands, as we said earlier, Richardson panic setting in.
So now it's just a question of how much time he's going to need as we're into round 4 for Fenech to catch up with this fellow. Now, it's fair that he doesn't get stopped, Richardson, but it just hasn't fought this quality of opposition. And coming in so light like that, I mean, he'd be better off going for even the flyweight championship at 8 stone, Jim. He'd take a bit of stopping if he could do that weight.
Yeah, if he could make 8 stone, because then he wouldn't have this kind of power to contend with. It's been a cracking pace all the way through, but Richardson has been the man who's been under constant pressure, so we must expect him, if anybody's going to wilt. That was a good right hand from Fenech. Richardson took it well, but shook him up a little bit.
He almost got a backhander as well there, just as well Fenech missed with that. Oh, he really has taken charge completely now. Fenech can almost ignore Richardson's punches coming at him. As you say, we'll nickname the flea. They're just little bites at him, Jim, aren't they? That's all.
Yeah, and I'm thinking 12 rounds is a long time when the other fella was twice as strong as you are. Richardson doesn't have anything to discourage Fenech with, so Fenech, it's actually like a training workout, just to keep driving yourself on. Eventually the punches have got to start landing.
He looks a fit and really determined world champion as well. Oh, great shot there. He can lead with the right hand and pick it right. That's got him really in floundering, and he'll grab for dear life here. Well, by the American's attitude, Jim, I would say he knows really this is just not going to last. How's he going to keep this fellow off?
Richard, he's managing to survive, but he's never fluent, always under pressure. Everything is panic behind it, no rhythm. It's one-way traffic all the time. I don't really think Richardson can keep this going much longer.
Just as well that he's getting away and riding some of those punches, not all of them, of course, Richardson, because he really would be taking some stick and been stopped a lot earlier. So there's the countdown for the end of the 4th. It looks like he'll survive this, but only just. Good pressure stuff now from Fenech. And that was a time I think the world champion just wished that bell hadn't have gone. He certainly had Richardson on the hook there. Well, an unusual complaint there from the Americans manager. Keep Fenech in the corner until the bell rings. I mean, they sort of sense what's going to happen. Let's have another look at that one. He's really got, as we know, Richardson backpedaling the whole time. Now, watch for this right-hander. He can clip like that. So into the 5th. Almost catapulted off that stool there, Fenech. Can't imagine what the American seconds must be saying to him now. Run for your life, Jim, there's a long time to go.
Yeah, well, they know what he's doing now is all he can do. It's just a survival thing. He's not winning any rounds. With every round that's passed, Fenech has had a little bit more success. He's getting closer to him, landing more clean punches, especially in the fourth round, than he has in any previous round. It's beginning to look bad news for Richardson.
He really is an accomplished champion, a man only 16 fights, had a long amateur career, and defeated John Farrell of Liverpool, took 3 counts against him in Australia. Not too much about in the bantams and super bantams these days to hold this fellow, I tell you that. He's a really good champion. He doesn't know what to do here now. That's it, he's floundering all over. He wanted to go on the floor. He was lucky he didn't take an extra punch there from Fenech, and he's turned away, he's surrendered there. There's a slight cut over Richardson's eye. That is not the region. And he's counted him out on his feet, I think, Jim, or he's going to quit. Whatever way, the fight's over in the 5th round. Yes, he's counted him out standing on his feet there, it looks. I don't know whether that's WBC rules.
Well, it did look like a surrender. It didn't look as though he wanted to continue. It wasn't one punch that did it. I think it was the constant pressure, the punishment had been taken, and I think he knew there was no way he could match Fenech.
There, Jim, there's the finish now.
See, there wasn't really any clean punches here, but I think it just reached the stage when Richardson couldn't offer any more resistance. It had been an uphill struggle all the way through, taking punches. That was a good little right-hand shot there. Not a knockout punch, but a sickening punch. And by this time, Richardson really had been sickened, and he was looking for the way out, I think. See, these punches aren't really landing cleanly, but nowhere to go. It's more of a stumble than anything else. The only way he could get out of harm's way was to go onto his knees, and then he had nothing more to offer.
And it's just as well he didn't take that punch.
Ladies and gentlemen, in 1 minute.